So if we focus on the overtraining aspect of it, to me, I see this in the highly specialised kids, where the parents want their child to be the next big Major League Baseball pitcher. So they have him involved in the sport for 8 months or more, and when they get their downtime from the sport, then they're still throwing, and they're throwing regularly. They never get recovery from that sport. They're exposed to the exact same movements over and over and over again, so they're at a higher risk of overuse injuries. Now that to me is an overtraining issue, which potentially we think we're doing them a favour, but if we look at the evidence, there's no strong evidence to say that if you specialise early, that you're going to be more likely to be an elite level performer when you're an adult. Right? So early specialisation doesn't necessarily lead to elite level adult performance. In fact, there's probably better evidence in terms of your movement qualities, your skill, and your flexibility and adaptability with skill movements, your decision making. There's better evidence for sampling. If you sample multiple sports, then you're more likely to go on and become an elite level performer. So the general recommendation is there that I would say, if overtraining is an issue, make sure that you at a young age, when you have adolescence, don't specialise too early. Don't specialise before puberty, and give your child opportunities to sample multiple sports, because it'll probably do them a lot of favours in the long run. And the trick there is don't sample multiple sports at once, right? So I think some people hear, oh, okay, sample multiple sports. All right, well, I'll go from 3 or 4 different sports in the one day. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, after you've finished your baseball season, go and play a different sport where you're developing some different qualities. Now, I'm probably more concerned about what happens down the lower end, and that's the under preparation issue. And this is where we are so worried about load that we manage our athletes away from the training process, and then we send them out to do a job that they're unprepared for. So if we're thinking soccer, one of the things you need to be able to do in soccer is run fast, and you need to be able to sprint. Now, if you haven't been exposed to that at some level in training, or exposed to the type of training that's going to prepare you for that, then when you go out and do it in a game, then you're underprepared for it, and you're at greater risk of breaking down, and you're at greater risk of not being able to perform as well as you'd like. So there's 2 kind of outcomes there. One is that you don't perform as well as you like. You can't win the race to the ball. And the second is you break trying. So that's a real that's probably a bigger challenge that I see is the under preparation of athletes, and it's an under preparation injury or an under training injury.
Let me first come back to the overtraining, then we'll get to the under preparation. But for the overtraining, you said that over 8 months of the year for kids in organized travel, same sport, is usually where we don't want to get to. And I've seen some studies that say over 10 months of the year is overtraining, but would you say it's like 8 to 10 months in competitive sport where it's a red flag?
Well, 8 months is typically viewed or defined as, if you're doing 8 months or more in one sport, you are considered a specialized athlete. So think tennis or think baseball. If you're playing that sport year round, tennis is probably a good example where there's no real clear off season, and there's tournaments all the time. If you're playing tennis 8 months or more across a 12-month year, then you would be defined as a specialized athlete.